I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, when you throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. 713, could've 21, yeah, I'm riding. Why they on me? Why they on me? I'm flying, sipping low-key. I'm sipping low-key and honest, flying rider. I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side, oh. I get those goosebumps every time.
Champions League, baby! Yes! Get in. Straight away.
Yes. Yeah.
We made it. Job done. Finally got over the finish line. Been a long time coming, boys. What did you make of that? It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy watching the end, especially that Pope save in the 92nd minute. He's got a 10 for me for that save alone. It was heart in the mouth moment.
There was always going to be one of those moments, though, weren't there?
Yeah.
Because we were so dominant, we controlled the game for such long periods. Just couldn't put the ball in the net. It's crazy.
How did we not score? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
We're there. No, nobody can catch us, boys. We are there.
Wow.
And they're on merit as well.
Absolutely does. I mean, as I was saying to you, that's pre-show. Like for me, just the fact that we don't need anything from that Chelsea game. I was thinking if Leicester win here and we've got to go and get a point at Stamford Bridge, don't want that last game of the season. Don't want that. Yeah, no way. It's all done now. It's done.
And it doesn't really matter if we get third or fourth. It's done. It'd be nice to get third, but it doesn't matter. Probably unlikely, I would say now, where Man United would have an advantage if they'll have the opportunity to potentially pass up. But it doesn't matter. We're there.
It doesn't. Absolutely right, mate.
Definitely. And just really quickly, thank you, Mohammed. And he says, Champions League, here we come. The super chats are open. Get your questions to us. Ask us anything. And we'll put it to the front of the queue. Let's go. Let's go.
Do we want to talk anything about the game? Maybe we'll roughly skate around it. Lineups, Longstaff back in for Willock. The big talking point then was J7 dropped out, or was that a game plan? I wonder that J7 was never going to play from the start anyway, or play, and Anderson came in. What do you think?
It's an interesting theory. I mean, I think if any team this season seeing Joe Linton playing, they won't fancy it. So yeah, maybe it was. So we might never find out, but maybe it was because like I say, anybody facing a Newcastle side with Joe Linton won't fancy it. And he was a big miss. Like, it was weird because I saw the lineup and I was like, right, okay, that I kind of expected. I knew Pete mentioned earlier on to us in the chat that Sean Longstaff might be back, so that was great news. That was really, really, really good. And then when I saw the rest of the lineup, I thought, great, okay, yeah, that's where we are. And then when I come down and when when Sky had the players coming up on the screen, it was like Elliot Anderson. I was like, where's Joe Linton? And then the fella was like, yeah, he's pulled out. And I was thinking, oh, no way. So yeah, that panicked me a little bit because obviously a midfield without Big Joe, you do miss him.
Yeah,
you definitely do. You definitely. Just a reminder: make sure you hit that like button as well. I have it pinned as a combo, and if you're new, subscribe as well. Subscribe, you'll be able to get in the chat. There's that message. We're all just wrecked after that, though. Jesus.
Oh, I know.
Go on, Pete.
No, I was going to say it would have felt a lot more comfortable if we'd have put the ball in the net. But look, what I will say, aside from that, is that we were dominant with the ball. We were great in possession. We created a lot of, intricate moments, which against other teams we haven't seen in this season, and we had a confidence about us that I haven't seen. But when a team comes and sits behind, and they were looking for the draw, like right from minute one. Yeah. It was like even in the 90th minute, there was a time where Trippier had the ball. I think it might have been just after Pope made that save. And Trippier had the ball, and he was just stood there for like 15, 20 seconds.
No one came near him.
One player came to press him, because it was almost like, Leicester were like, we'll take the point. And we were just like, we'll take the point. And it was just like, it was almost like in that moment, we just kind of like, we shook hands. Yeah, that's a good job. But there was a lot of good things that I saw from Newcastle. On another day, so a few were putting it in the chat, on another day it would have been 6-0 and we'd have absolutely smashed them. But look, it is what it is. Champions League football, and I think Champions League football. Leicester go and beat West Ham. Everton get relegated. Chris gets chucked out the house.
Yeah. Or Leeds get one over the Spurs on that final game season to stay up as well. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
We were discussing it, Daz. Sorry to interrupt you. We were discussing it before, and I think the way the league table stands now, I think Everton are on 33 and Leeds and Leicester are both on 31. Now the difference is, if Everton win, it's done. Everton are staying up. If Everton only draw and Leicester win, Leicester will stay up. So it is in the balance, mate. It's very much in the balance. I think Leeds are done. They've got too big a goal difference. I don't think.
Don't write off Leeds yet.
Sorry, Lisa. Sorry, your Lisa's not happy with me, mate.
Oh, she already wrote something. You've not told Lisa about your disliking of Everton, have you, Pete?
Well, I am now.
You have now, yeah. Wait till she sees you.
Oh my god! I'll be ducking and diving next time we see her.
You'll be like, I can't make it. Sorry.
Yeah, my bad.
This end of the table has sorted itself out. I'm more concerned with this because we are sitting there in the top 4 and we're not moving. We can't be moved now. It's done and dusted. From where we were last season, like before Eddie Howe came in, before the takeover, Bruce Ball, everything, the pain and suffering, all the Mike Ashley era, to this. And even if you remember back to what Mike Ashley said, was winning the Champions League would be like winning a trophy, and this is our trophy today, getting into that Champions League. I'll remove the table again, but boys, it's there. All we have so much to look forward to now. New signings, continuing with the project into the Champions League, into that Champions League draw. We'll be talking about that for weeks leading up to it. Probably I know people keep asking when is it? I think it's probably between August and September that draw will happen. But I don't really know. But yeah, even someone will probably attend the draw from the club. That's look forward to.
Amanda and Maydad will be there, and Jamie, I imagine all 3 of them will be there. Like, it's amazing. I just loved it at the end of the game. I don't know if you would have saw it on TV. Is it like
catch that yet?
It cut to the owners, and the chairman was obviously there as well, and Amanda's kind of pointing over to the big screen, telling to have a look because it had the big Champions League sign on there, and you could hear it, you could like see her mouthing like, "Look, there's a Champions League sign," because that's what it means. Like, we're there, we've done it. And you know what? The only season in God knows how many years that we can hold in high esteem. We still talk about it now. And again, it was 2012 when we finished 5th. We had that amazing season with the likes of Ben Arthur and Kabay and all the rest of it. This just obliterates that because we did it. We did it when no one thought we would. I tweeted out after the game and I said, and we said it last night, Chris, and I'll say it again, we're the first team since Leicester, when Leicester won the league, to break that top 6. No other team have done it. West Ham have come close twice. Leicester then came back and came close twice. Other teams have been in and around it. We did it, and we did it with just over a year of our new ownership. That for me is outstanding. It's amazing. It's an amazing achievement. Like, it should not be played down. Sky are bigging it up right now. They're looking at the scenes, but we as a fan base, we should not play this down. This is an unbelievable achievement. Nobody would have expected it. Everybody surprised. Even Gary Neville tonight was saying, yeah, I didn't think they'd make it. I didn't think they'd do it. I thought they'd drop off. Nobody thought that we would do it. And all the credit, not just to the players, but Eddie Howe, what he has done to allow these players to play with so much freedom and quality to get us there. Unbelievable. Fantastic. I'm absolutely buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. Fucking there, boys. We're there. We did it.
We did it. And we did it. We did it as well. We're not like 2 squads of players as well. Like with 2 teams, we're going to have to get into that situation where we can have ready-made replacements. But we bandaged ourselves up and got on with it. Got over the line with what we had, and just absolutely amazing. Good morning, Shane. He's up early.
This is the best morning.
I wasn't going to miss that.
Get in.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Oh man, but I can run you through the game, lads, if you really want. Do you want that? Do you want that? Yeah, maybe it might flash up some of the chances really that we'll put away, and I'll be really quick. 7 minutes, long stuff in the box, nudge, Luke Thomas, nothing given. Bruno challenge, yellow card. Was that a red? Could have been a red.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, mate, that should have been a red. That, I think it was.
He didn't lean in any further, but if he did,
I didn't think it was. I thought it was. I thought they made the right decision. It was a yellow. The reason is that there wasn't any force.
But he left his foot there, didn't he?
His foot was there, but it was like he didn't go in. If it had gone in with force, it would have been a red card. But the fact that he's gone to get the ball, but he's just missed it, and his foot's kind of like landed on him. It's not gone in with any force. If it had gone in with force,
it would have been that.
But the fact it's kind of just landed on his leg, and he's just kind of there. It looks bad because he's kind of held his foot on his leg, but it's not with any force. It's just kind of that's where it's finished. But obviously, he's going to go down. Samari, I think it was that got the injury. It's going to go down. He is. Like, if it was a Newcastle player, if it was Bruno on the other end, he'd have done the same.
Of course.
It wasn't a red card, but it's not the first time he's done a tackle like that. He does need to be very, very careful. Yeah. But we're running out of midfielders, man. We're running out of midfielders.
And that's why we're also into next season. We can't be solely reliant on Bruno. We have to have. I know it's easy to say we need to get a substitute for Bruno as an alternative, because someone that can do something like Bruno. And moving on, 21 minutes, Anderson shot at the keeper, all Newcastle attack, very frustrating, can't get lucky. 40 minutes, off the line, hit the post before that, pinball in the box. There was Wilson that had that kind of shot after Byrne pulled it back. There's nothing doing there, obviously. 42 minutes, off the post again. Follow up from Wilson, from Miggy this time. Follow up from Wilson, and nothing happened again. Then 45 minutes. This is probably where we should have scored, and that stretch there from that last 5 minutes before halftime. Wilson over the bar from a corner. That brought us to halftime. Maddison, come on. Actually, yeah, they left Maddison and Barnes out, so they were kind of more defensive. Yeah.
What did you boys make of that? Chris, and Maddison and Barnes on the bench. We did away days. What did Chris and what did Leicester, Chris and Ash say? I thought that was really interesting.
I was surprised Tielemans was playing. Like, I must admit, but maybe a because he's captain, he's got to. But yeah, no, they did say that, didn't they? And Leicester set up. Do you know what? Do you know what frightened me a bit when like you could tell Leicester were just like sit behind the ball, and it was literally on the 60th minute mark. You just saw them all just push forward a touch, and then obviously they made the subs. You were thinking, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And go gung ho, did they? Because I think they were happy with a point. But yeah, it was an interesting tactical play. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that he'd left them out. Like,
yeah. And I think they talked about at the halftime in Sky that where Newcastle switched their tactics a bit as well, where Bruno and Trippier kind of came in a bit and just kind of had described as a horseshoe kind of set up just to isolate the attackers, but just to counteract their style a bit. 48 minutes, penalty, handball in the box, nothing given for a potential penalty. 58 minutes, save from an Isaac shot, good work down the wing. 62 minutes, Leicester changed to a back four. Yeah, that's where you describe where Madison comes on. ASM on, Wilson off. Isaac moves into the middle. 70 minutes, ball off the line. Bruno hit the post again. Who's that? Hello.
We're both laughing at that comment there. Can you imagine that? Oh my god!
Brilliant.
We're having to get more pictures of Bob villains, man.
Yeah.
We'll have to sort something out, decent out for next season for Keith. We need a new intro. Hello to Chris's young lad as well that passed in there a minute ago.
He tried his best to hide himself, but yeah, he got caught there. 67 minutes. Where am I now? Yeah, ball off the post of Bruno. Bruno should have finished that as well from that corner. 75 minutes, Bruno shot as the keeper. Murphy on, Anderson off. Anyone bored there for this? I'm getting bored of this. Lots of it was very slippy actually on the night. There's a lot of people slipping around the place. Miggy off, Gordon on. Then the highlight of the match. Pope's save in 92 minutes from Castagna. What a fucking save that was to get us Champions League football. Like, who knows? If that got in, we could have lost to Chelsea. Liverpool could have passed us out, or got the goals to so amazing save that from Popey. And then, yeah, as you described, Pete, the calmness from Trips to tell everyone to calm down. At this stage, sit back. And Leicester was going, yeah, you can have it. We're happy with the point. But anyway, end of the day, Newcastle just came to win. Leicester came for the point. We got Champions League. They got their point to try and save the relegation. Doesn't matter. We're in the Champions League.
Come on.
Yes.
That's good. Come on.
And yes, get that music back on again. There's a great call there. More of that to come next year. Oh god. Yeah. Where do we go next, lads? Any more questions or chats? Anything in the comments?
Yeah, we've had a couple of good questions. So where are we? I love this one from Bobby. So Bobby says, "Who's the one big team you want to face in the Champions League next year? I would love a game in France." So I'm assuming Bobby would like PSG then. But Daz, yeah, Pete's gonna love PSG for obvious reasons. Yeah. Would you like PSG, Pete?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I love PSG.
Going to watch Mbappe as well. Hopefully, he's still there.
I mean, like to be fair, going over to there, like me and Lee would be like, we'd be traveling, everything would be fine, and then it comes to kick-off time, and like I'd just be like, that's it. Like, no niceties. We're going for the win. The thing about it is that if I couldn't get a ticket either way, and I go in with the ultras, which would be even nice, I wouldn't be able to say
great. Be a great atmosphere though, wouldn't it? It would be class, like
definitely. And then imagine it at St. James's, because I know for a fact that Lee will be up there at St. James's, like 100%.
What about you, Daz?
I don't really care, Chris. I just want to look forward to who's there, who's in each of the pots. Just look forward to the actual draw. So whoever we get, we get.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't, because like we're not going to be expected to win it. So it's just really to experience it and collect, to build, to try and get back into it again, and build and build and build, and then we'll have a goal later on down the line. Unless
if you had
someone
to
is going
pick
to predict
one team, Daz, if you had to pick one team, if I forced you into it, who would it be?
Barcelona, so
Barcelona. Yeah.
Bring back that.
I would say, well, PSG was one of them, but I would say Real Madrid. I think going the Bernabeu would be sick.
And Real Madrid will be in pot 2, and that's what everyone's saying because they're
They didn't win the league, did they?
Yeah.
Barcelona pot 1, Real Madrid pot 2. Yeah.
Mad. Right, boys, next question. So, and we won't go too deep into this, so I'm just going to ask you for one word answer, okay? Because I don't want it to turn into a transfer show, okay? So, Matt asks, was that Maxi's last home game, do you think? So, Daz, yes or no, was that Maxi's last home game?
Political answer here is squad game 3. The Price is Right is coming very, very soon.
That's what I mean.
The season is not over, so I can't answer. I don't think it was. No. I won't give a full answer, but I don't think it was because he it says home game. I can't get out of jail card there. No, I don't think it's his last game for us.
Pete?
No.
I agree. I don't think it is either. Kamal asks Pete, when is the next Battleground Europe?
When do you want the next Battleground Europe?
No.
Right now. It starts right now. Let's get rounded up.
Wow.
You got Battleground Europe next season. You're throwing Man City in there. You're throwing Arsenal in there. So Potts is going to be in there. Daps, who represented Man City, we're going to be throwing them in the mix. Errol will be back in there, maybe.
West Ham. Depends
if we're talking Champions League or we're talking Europa League. It depends. But yeah. Well, Lawless may not be in there. Let's wait. let's wait a little bit. But look, we'll be getting some. We'll be getting some off-season Battleground Europe chat with our European representatives in the league, no doubt. So look, you guys will know well in advance. It'll be coming.
And hello, Europe. We're looking for away days channels across Europe to join us.
Well, funny enough, I was just one of my things I was going to put in. Rich Joplin has said Champions League away days, lads. What's the crack? Any connections? It's a great point. It's a great point.
We need translators.
It's already started.
Pete, we were talking about this the other night. Pete's already on it, ladies and gents. Pete is already on it. So no surprises there. One step ahead of the curve.
Hang on a sec. How could you? Okay, you know there's going to be a list. We need to know who's going to be in our group.
He's contacted everyone.
Yeah, but you can still do your research.
You can.
And then once you've done your research, you go to whoever's in your group. Now,
and then you press the button.
If you're looking at an away days, if we're going to get some, if we're getting the team in Romania or whatever, then we might struggle. Let's be honest. But, if you're looking at the big goods, like these boys just said, the Real Madrids, the Barces, the Atleticos, the PSGs, whatever it is. PSG is easy because we'll just get Leon. But you know, if you want to get the big shows, the Champions League away days, you gotta go out there and find it. And I'm already on the case, so don't worry.
We might have a news job for 00 Stato as well. Get them books, get them reds, because he's gonna have to learn all different languages for us. Translate.
I just can't wait to see their faces when Keith rolls up on screen.
Yeah, with all the flames and everything.
He has a different language to welcome as he comes in
every week. Yeah. Keith,
funny.
Get on it. Learn all the languages just to have cover all bases.
Yeah, Keith knows. So Keith, you've been giving your heads up, mate. So we're talking Spanish, French, Brazilian, Portuguese, whatever you need to learn, mate. whatever you need to learn.
I have a question. What the World Club Championship? What's the theme music for that? Because I might have to dig that out for soon.
Imagine.
Imagine. Flipping hell. That would be brilliant.
This is a good, interesting question from Scotty. So, boys, we're now a Champions League club, which feels great to say. 18 months ago, we were bought for 300 million-ish. I think it was anywhere between 300, 305, 320, whatever it was. It was low 300s. How much are we worth now?
I'd say, go on, Pete.
No, I was going to say it's minimum $1 billion. Minimum.
Yeah, priceless. But I would say heading towards $1 billion because the potential as well for where we're going. Yeah. They're not going to sell it, but if they were to sell it, they would triple their money.
Easy. Yeah. Well, apparently Everton, our Callum there was telling me yesterday that Everton are like looking for bids between 600 and 700 million.
Everton. It just makes you think. Actually, we were sold for cheap.
Yeah, it was a bargain. Yeah. Absolute bargain. Yeah. Jimmy, great to see you in the chat, mate. Absolutely.
Hey,
couldn't agree more. £100 million save. It was £100 million save. Absolutely. Ryan, well, there's a question from mine and Pete. Probably a silly question. Are you on the brandy? Of course he is. Of course he is.
Hey,
that's not straight. Not straight.
Newcastle in the Champions League. Of course they are. Of course I am. Come on.
Straight.
Don't mess him. Come on, Ryan.
Good man. Andrew DB says, Pete, I'm fluent Romanian after 12 brew nails, so I'll do it.
I'll be in touch.
We might need you, mate. Might need you, mate. JC, again, not going too much into the old transfers, but he says, do you guys think Maddison looked like he'd fit into our team tonight? A bit lazy, I thought. A few good touches. What was the general consensus on Maddison?
I'll go first to give Pete time there, but to contemplate. I look, Maddison for me would have been a great signing back at the time he went to Leicester because he was unreal at Norwich, and in the early stages of Leicester he was really good. But it's this 60 million talk puts me off him totally. If you're he's a great player on his day. He needs it to be Eddie Howe, and he will get back to the standard he was at. But it's all about the price for me. 45 million, and you probably won't get him from that though. That's where I go. Get in, Richie.
There's our Richie. There he is. Richie was at the game tonight, so he must be buzzing.
The dream
Absolutely
ticket.
Buzzing. And that was really it for the questions, to be honest, boys.
Unless Pete to down to Maddison.
Oh, sorry, go on, Pete. Sorry, go on, mate. Go
on. To be honest, first and foremost, I'm not going to judge Maddison on tonight's performance. We dominated Leicester. He barely got on the ball, so I'm not going to say whether he was good or not. He had a couple of good through balls, but let's be honest, he barely touched it because we were so good. However, I don't believe this 60 million rubbish. You won't. Leicester will not get 60 million for him.
No,
they won't. They won't. They could have asked for it last summer. I understood that, but I think if we'd have gone a little bit higher, I still think we'd have got him in the summer. I think Leicester go for exactly what Daz doesn't think that Maddison will go for, around the 40-45 million. I think that's his top end, if I'm honest with you. I think they're in a position now where they know they need to sell him. He knows he's not going to be there next season. Leicester know that he's not going to be there next season. So they haven't got a negotiation. They can't negotiate. They can't haggle for more money. So whatever a team puts down on there, unless there's a bidding war, he will go for around 40 or 45 million, in my opinion. It might be built up to 50, 55 with appearances and achievements and all the rest of it, fine. But as a set price, I don't believe that he will leave for anything more than kind of 40, 45 million.
No, I don't think it could be any higher than that. I really don't. But then I suppose the other question, Pete, is if we were to go for Szoboszlai, Is he? He's of the there you go. As the boys were talking about it. Is he of the Maddison ilk? Like, I doubt we'd go for both. Could it be that Szoboszlai and Maddison are like that, and we go for one or the other? If I had to put it on both your toes now, would you want Szoboszlai or Maddison?
You know my answer. Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai. How'd you say it, Pete?
Szoboszlai.
Szoboszlai. We're saying it very confident now, aren't we? Like we always talk about Szoboszlai.
Yeah, but I suppose if you're comparing 40 million to 70 million, the values, it depends in what you could use that extra 30 million for elsewhere. But still, I'd want him. Dom. Bring in Dom. Pete, your answer there.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you an answer. I'm sorry. I'm not.
No.
But what I will say is that they're both very, very talented players.
Yeah.
Very talented players. Yeah. Okay. What I will say to you is that there's they are in the same pool of players that Newcastle are looking at. And what I will say is that I genuinely feel that they're not the only two players in that position that Newcastle are looking at. There'll be others.
Yeah, there will be.
I see Paulie G is in the chat there. The first man to call Newcastle getting into top four. So well done, Paulie G, on that one.
Well done, Paul. Right, boys, I'm going to have to shoot, I'm afraid. I said I was only going to do 30 minutes tonight. I've got to be up early to get to London tomorrow. So I'm going to have to shoot. But it's been an absolute pleasure. I will carry on watching when I log off. But yeah, my bed is calling me.
Early starts, fella.
Mate, I'm gonna have to get up about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So I better get my head down now. Otherwise, I will miss my train. But yeah, fantastic results. Made up. We've finally done it. And yeah, can't believe it. But I don't think it'll sink in probably until Sunday when we're watching the last game of the season, and it won't matter. Yeah. That's the best thing about it.
Concentrate on the relegation battle.
Yeah. We'll just be sitting back like that, just going,
oh. Yeah. Sunglasses on.
Yes. Flip flops.
I'll have to buy myself like a Champions League mug or something, won't I? Just sit there with my Champions League
mug. That's an idea.
I'm at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. That's what I'll be like when I'm there. It'll be the first time.
You going?
Yeah, I got a ticket for the game, so I'll be at Stamford Bridge. And last time I went to Stamford Bridge, we got absolutely hammered 5-0 under Mourinho on Sky Sports, and I was like, I'm never going back unless we've got a team capable of doing them over.
And now we have.
But I'm going back with a team that's capable of doing them over. But equally, I'm going there without any pressure, so I'm just going to be like sunglasses on, hopefully, just arms back, chanting, singing. Yeah. Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
Taking it in.
No, in London, but
we did at least that. Woo. Get in. At least he's coming back from the game. Man. Sure. We'll. I'm just flicking up with the comments. I don't see any questions yet, but if you spot a question, Pete, shout.
There's one here from Michael Palmer. Who will be the first player through the door this summer?
Fraser Foster.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Maybe.
I'm gonna leave you with mine. I'm gonna leave now, but I'm gonna tell you who mine is before I go. I think it would be Szoboszlai.
Yeah, interesting.
I hope it is.
Really do.
What the first signing that would be?
Yeah, just that little like the other day. I think that's enough for me. It's another botman straight through the door.
Yeah.
What about you, Pete?
I think it might be a centre back.
John Clare Tleibo.
I would love it to be.
I thought Daz was looking for the picture then.
Yeah, I bet he is.
I have it here, yeah.
Yay!
There he is.
But look, the one thing I will say is that we have got a monster summer planned, full of transfer news, full of discussion, and full of amazing guests. Some you'll recognise on the channel before, some you may not, but this is the place to be. So if you haven't yet liked, subscribe to this channel, please do, because we are going to be busy this summer. Once the season finishes on the 28th of May, it only gets busier for us. It's when the season starts for us, because we are going to be extremely busy. So keep a lookout for all things Loaded Mag NUFC, that's for sure.
Right, boys, I wish you good night. Lads and ladies, thanks very much for tuning in. Yeah, and I'll speak to you all soon. Get in.
Come on. Come on. Yes. Get in
Pete, how many players depart is a question from Michael Palmer. We'll cover that in Squad Game 3, but there's going to be a few.
I was going to say, can we divulge our answers now, or are we going to ruin the show?
No, because we have to weigh up all possibilities and talk about how much they go for, if they let them go on a free, and you're like, how many do we need, and to meet all the quotas and all that's going to.
What I will ask is, who was your man of the match tonight? So I'll ask you, Daz, the question. Okay. I want everyone in the chat to let us know who your man of the match was tonight. We don't have to know rating or anything like that, but who did you think Newcastle's man of the match was tonight? I know who mine is. Daz, I don't know if you know who yours was.
Yeah, I didn't even finish my ratings. I have half them done, but I think off the top of my head, I'm going to say Isak, because he just, he does what he does, the dribbling, trying to work the magic, didn't work out for him. He gets so far, cut back in. If I was to narrow it down, talk myself through it. Wilson, he was well marked tonight with centre backs. Miggy didn't have as good a game as he did the game before. Anderson had a decent game for us. I thought he played well in the first half, not as good in the second half, but he was tiring. Longstaff came back. It didn't work out for him. He had a good game, but the defensively were very good though. I thought we were very good defensively. Well, I'm going to give it to Isak, Pete, just for the trickery that he tried, but it didn't pay off for him.
Interesting. Okay. There's a few here. I'm just going to go through some of the comments before I give my answer.
Oh my God.
Christopher. Christopher's gone Trippier. We've got Bobby. They've got Botman. Never put a foot wrong. Botman was very good tonight, I've got to say. Kendo's gone Longstaff or Trips. Bruno, but honourable mention to Elliot Anderson. Fair play. Connie's gone Almiron. Stephen Field, welcome to the channel. Great to see you.
Hopefully safe.
Yeah. Andrew is in agreement with yourself. Alexander Isak. Rich Joblin has gone Pope or Longstaff. Geordie Jack, Nick Pope. Kendo's just gone all of them.
All of them. Yeah. It is hard to pick one tonight though, because across the board, everyone was trying. It's just that we couldn't break them down. There was no one that I could say had a bad game, to tell you the truth. Even Wilson, but he had like 2 or 3 centre backs on him the whole time. So he couldn't. He was on the press as well. But everyone had a decent game.
Yeah, for me, Sean Longstaff has to be my man of the match. For someone that's missed so much football recently because of an injury that could have potentially ended his season, and to come back into the team and look so seamless, he looked like he'd never been missing. He looked like he'd been training for weeks, and he'd just come back into the team. He looked brilliant, and I don't know what you thought, Daz, but I just automatically, even with Joe Linton not there, even with Willock not there, he just restored a balance for me for that midfield. The midfield just looked calm and balanced. Bruno looked him back to his old self, spraying the ball around, controlling midfield. Anderson looked comfortable trying to link the play with Isak on the left. It just looked balanced with him in it. And I just automatically felt confident with our midfield dominating the game.
I thought because he's just coming back, he did lack that sharpness or something. But sometimes in games, he's also looks like that at times. But it was just when he gets into the attacking situations, it did fall apart for him. He did have one really good shot, but it was saved by the keeper actually. There one stage in the game as well. But it was great to see him back, and we have definitely missed him. And it's interesting in the chat. Everyone's going for someone different as well for man of the match, because there's no clear standout, either worst player or best player on the night. But
could literally have been, you're absolutely right, Daz. Yeah, could literally have been anyone. Wow. Couple of questions popping in. Is the turnaround bigger than the 92-93 turnaround when we were a defeat away from League One to winning the championship? Oh.
That's when I started supporting Newcastle, actually, because I read about that in Shoot a Match magazine, and it was Kevin Keegan coming back. The last time we've seen, it was heading off in a helicopter. He comes back and he saves Newcastle from relegation, and then so when I started following Newcastle, and then the next season he built on that and he got promoted, and then the Premier League formed, and the rest is history. But so I was only at that time I was only about 11, so I don't know. We've lived through this era, how bad it was, and the turnaround from zeros to heroes in that short space of time, and it's the era where it's a lot of it is about money and building on each year and year and year to make yourself elite. And we've taken a massive jump here, going from we're all predicted around 10 to 8 kind of position to getting into 3rd or 4th position in that short space of time. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say it was maybe bigger or better, but I would say it is. I would say it's close to, and the reason being is because of the ownership and where we're at as a club under Mike Ashley. We were like literally banging on death's door because of the way he was running the club, and we have just been, in just over a year's time, been completely rejuvenated. Honestly, Daz, like obviously for me being based in Leicester, I've seen a lot of Leicester over the last 7 or 8 years, and I've seen Leicester come to St James's Park. I've seen Leicester go at the King Power and absolutely destroy Newcastle in games over those 7 or 8 years. Honestly, watching that game tonight, I was so proud of the players. I really was, because I'm looking at those players tonight. Yes, we didn't win. Yes, we didn't score. But I'm looking at those players tonight, and they dominated Leicester. That's a title winning Leicester. A title winning Leicester 7, 8 years ago. 2 years ago, FA Cup winners. Less than 2 years ago, Charity Shield winners against Man City. And we made them look average. The football we played, the way we controlled possession, that was a performance of a team, albeit the goals of a team that's top 4 level. I was so pleased to see it. Honestly, it was a really proud moment watching them play, particularly in the first half, where we peppered the ball around and just find little pockets of play to try and break through them. And I just think adding 2 or 3 players, 4 maybe first team players to that group of players can really kick us on next year. But
what I was going to say here now, next to that, Pete, and I'm kind of afraid to say it now because Chris from Leicester there. I was going to say here, I'm sorry, Chris. I imagine it's Chris that Leicester are 90 minutes from going to the championship as well. So yes, they did all those great things, and I love the way they won the Premier League. They kind of came from nowhere, but they've got a massive job to do now in that final game of the season to keep themselves in the Premier League. So yeah, but not to take any credit away from Newcastle and how they played tonight. They peppered their goal, and it was just so unlucky not to break them down. That's the way it goes. That's football.
Definitely. There's a couple of other things on here as well. Hold on, what's this one from Marco Palmer? FM23. Now for the next few months, or FIFA. I've not played FIFA like since it came out. Jesus Christ, that game's not the same anymore. It really isn't.
But we'll be in the Champions League side of it now as well. So I've played a bit of it because my little boy has gone mad into FIFA. He's 5, and so interesting now to be in the Champions League side of it. The next version, Eddie Howe in the cover. Never know.
Yeah, well, you never know. You never know. Maybe a Newcastle player, Alexander Isak.
Yeah.
Who's to say? We're not on the front of it. I think Leicester till I die. Chris has come back actually. It's what we have. I agree, but 96 minutes and you didn't score. But well done on getting the point you needed. Well done on getting the point you needed, Chris. as well.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked last night.
Hard fought.
Yeah, I think we talked last night, and I think Chris said that sort of with his heart he was hoping to pick up a point, but he didn't expect to. You got your point. We did our bit. We give you the point.
Who did Leicester play in the last game of the season?
They've got West Ham at home.
West Ham. The good thing West Ham are really concentrating on the Conference League. So
exactly.
There's every chance then, Chris, on that one.
Exactly. How did that Bruno header not go in? You're absolutely right. I think he was more worried about not getting his head like smashed in by heading the post. That it was actually, if it had gone back across goal, he'd have scored. But he's actually tried to kind of head it, as in like nod it in where he's at, and that's kind of what's caused it.
And Miggy's volley as well, and then the follow up from Wilson and then Isak. There was so many of those off the post chances, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anyway. We're in the Champions League. No one remembers for third or fourth. Well, apart from Keith Rowe, he'll definitely remember where we finished, but we won't. We just know we're in the Champions League.
Definitely.
In a couple of years' time, we won't look back at that.
Michael's do we play full strength? Do we go full strength on Sunday?
I would say if the likes of Bruno needs to go for an operation or something, now is the time to send him, and let him have his holiday as well. I wouldn't be. If we'd won tonight, I would have been more saying, yeah, go for it. But I think it'll also depend on the Man United game. Actually, Man United play isn't Bournemouth or someone. No, who did they play on? Actually, I have it in my list.
Chelsea at home on Thursday.
Chelsea, that was it.
And so yeah, on Sunday.
Yeah, so if Man United beat Chelsea, then I'd only play a full strength side if it's imperative that we have to, as in, like I wouldn't be if Bruno needs the rest or the break or the operation or whatever he might need, I'd pull the button on that. Pull the button on that trigger. Pull the trigger on that one. Yeah, I'm just too tired now as well, Pete. Sorry.
No, don't worry. I think we're about there in terms of questions. I think that was it from the screen. There's nothing else in there. Alan Thompson has put so frustrating tonight, lads, but we're in the Champions League. Fantastic achievement, and it's our master plan to send Everton down. That's the bonus. Come on, Bournemouth. Yes, I know. Alan has wanted Everton now, probably for as long as I have. So I think we're probably in the same boat there. But it was frustrating tonight. But look, I'm never thinking about that. We got the point. That's all we needed.
Yeah.
Like even like, are you bothered about the fact that we could potentially finish fourth if Man U beat Chelsea on Thursday? Does that even bother you? It doesn't me personally. I think we deserve to finish third. And Andrew's just in there. The bigger prize money, yeah, there's a little bit of extra prize money in there, but what?
Yeah, Well, yeah, my thoughts are that it all depends on that Chelsea game. If Man United beat Chelsea, then I would say they'll. I know Fulham will have a point to prove, but I think they'll beat Fulham as well. So I wouldn't be going all gung ho and potentially risking further injury or aggravating injuries that are already there. I just call it a day and on that. But if Man United were to draw against Chelsea or lose against Chelsea, I would go, yes, play the game just to try and get that third spot and finish ahead of Man United. That would be the icing on the cake. But look, you can't. I'm happy to cash out now, Pete, and take what we've got.
Yeah, definitely. That's for sure. Jersey Mags put there's a couple of conversations about this. Do you think we will stay in the top four next season, given the fixture demand and FFP restrictions? It's an interesting one. People, there's a few that are looking ahead already to next season. What are your thoughts on that, Daz?
I think it's going to be very, very tough because we're competing in another competition as well. We need a bigger squad. How are we going to get all those squad additions in the summer? How many will get in? At an FFP, as Jersey Mag has outlined, there's a lot of variables to move. We'll have sponsorships coming in as well, and so that'll help with that. But it's going. This was our season to get into the Champions League because Liverpool won't start as bad again next year. They won't be in the Champions League either. There'll be another Europa League, and Chelsea won't be in any European competition. So and they'll have to be a different animal with Pochettino coming in, and yeah, we'll have all the regular players up there as well. So it's going to be difficult to get back into the top four, but it depends. We might go. Look, too early to tell, really.
Yeah,
depends who we bring in.
It is, and look, it'll be a huge achievement if we could make it happen again. I think Aaron Dunn makes a good point back to Jersey. Newcastle have grown by more than 50% this season in terms of revenue. That's unheard of, which is absolutely right. We've already made massive progress in the last year. In terms of building as a club. So you add Champions League, gates and revenue on top of that, we're going to make even more money next year, which puts us in a great position. We've not even talked about it, but sponsorships and various things now has a Champions League name on it because we are a Champions League team. So can we command more money for that? So all those things could work in our favour. But
I think I said to you before, Peter, as well, that I think that we haven't heard about those sponsorship deals, as my camera is lagging behind here now, I see. Because we're all waiting on, they could probably get that a little bit more out of it, and by waiting to see where we finish. So I think a lot of announcements will they have to come anyway, but they'll start to be announced now, and we can see where our future is going. See all those little things adding up, and what we're left with.
Yeah, and Matt has can't wait for the Amazon documentary.
Yeah,
for that. That's going to be unreal. And even Jason Cundy's bigged up Newcastle. He doesn't normally big up Newcastle, saying that we deserve Champions League football. So that's a high praise there for sure. But yeah, I think that's about it, Daz.
We probably should call it a night, Pete. But it's not over yet. We are, as my camera lags behind again. It's not over yet. We still got one game to go. And yeah, we'll see off the season in style then. But we coming up, what we know of, there might be more that'll pop up during the week, but we're going to have away days that'll get landed. I'm not sure what day yet, but we'll land it there. I know Pete, you're in discussions on that one. We'll also have we will go on Sunday night. We will go for our roundup show, and it's the final day of the season. And we will not only talk about Newcastle's game here, but we'll look at the table and see. We'll know the final results where everyone is, and take it from there. And I know immediately after that, then we have all action stations at Loaded Mag in UFC, because we've got shows lined up nearly every day after that. So it's going to be busy. But we want to see off the season, and because it's been a hectic season as well for us at Loaded. We've kept going the whole way through. But yeah, let's finish it off. One more game to go, and I guess it's just one last thing to say. How'd you like that?
Drink it, like me, then tell me if you like that.